There, we've started. Hello.
Hello again.
Hello. Uh, today, uh, bullshit, honestly. Just
Ramblings.
yes. Uh,
It's the BushBlade Ramblings again. So we just.
exactly.
Why
So,
is the music so loud?
oh yeah, let me turn on, let me turn off the music because we've got something more important today.
Yeah,
So,
because we did a
last
playlist
time,
last week.
last time, I said that if the video would get 1 subscriber, that I would put chainsaw noises in the background. So, let me just go over to our channel real quick.
You need. I would go to analytics because then you can have the graph, which does show
Nah, it's fine.
when a subscriber game comes in.
I think this is definitive enough. So today we're having chainsaw noises. I don't know how long I'm gonna be able to put up with that, but here we go. I hope it's not too loud. Is that good? Seems
Yeah,
good. Alright. Anyway,
it is
today.
really annoying though.
I know. Today, I'm gonna be playing Devil May Cry in the background because I watched the anime. And, I'm gonna just give my thoughts real quick. There is gonna be spoilers, but I'll mention when we get into the spoilers because I really only want to talk about the final scene. But overall, uh, it's alright. Like, it's fine. Like, it's very slow for Devil May Cry. I'm already sick of this chainsaw.
What's the button thing?
Anyway, um,
There's a lot of chains. Why didn't you just put it within your within the playlist?
it's fine.
They would only have it once and random.
It's fine, Joe. I have randomizer turned on. Let me.
Yeah, but not on your playlist.
Let's play with randomizer. No, I mean here. Let's play with randomizer. Why not? Fair warning, I suck with Dante, so this is gonna look like shit. But no, it's very slow for what you would think of a Devil May Cry thing. It's funny. Which oh my god, really? Uh, which I do think is important for Devil May
The
Cry.
thing is still quite loud. The game. We
Let's
probably
fix
should have
that.
tested this beforehand, actually. Then again, even I'm still struggling with that, even though I've streamed for like a couple of years now.
Maybe,
This is
yeah.
weird to think.
Anyway, but it's funny. It is very slow, and I wish Dante had some more moments to shine. But if they get a season 2, which I don't know if they will, and they make him shine there, then I can be fine with that.
I think it would depend entirely on the success of the first season.
Yeah, but it kind of felt more like a lady show right now. Like, I mean, kind of both. But I feel like Lady shined a little bit more, which is a bit weird for Devil May Cry. But anyway, uh, one thing that I do want to talk about though is the final scene. So if you haven't seen it and you don't want spoilers, uh, just go to like 2 minutes ahead or something. But basically, obviously, you cannot have a Devil May Cry show without Virgil. And I already expected that they would show Virgil at the end of Season 1 as a setup for Season 2, right?
Yeah.
Well, I was correct about that, and they reveal him in the stupidest way I have ever seen. It starts off fine, where he's like Angelos, and then he becomes Virgil, because I know that's what he's like in the games. I've only played the 5th game, and I know a lot of the lore of the other games. But, and he arrives, and they play Bury the Light, but like a shittier version. And then he says that Mundus, the Demon King, has like sent him, and it's like, he's sending a storm, and I am that storm, as the song sings, I am the storm that is approaching, and it's just so stupid to me.
It is kind of funny though.
Yeah, but it's so weird.
It is a reference.
Yes, but like, what the fuck?
And as, or at least as I've seen with the Minecraft movie, because you haven't watched it yet, so go watch it. It's a movie that doesn't thrive on a good plot or anything. More
Yeah, no,
on
well, I haven't seen reviews, but I've seen the thumbnails for the reviews for that
it's
one.
just meme, it's just meme material that they've made.
Yeah.
With the most profound memes being Jack Black saying random Minecraft items.
I am getting my ass kicked. But,
So, the movie was great. It was fun to watch. Don't get me wrong. It's a decent movie to watch. Just don't expect a solid plot.
yeah, no, that's kind of what happened with Devil May Cry. I mean, I don't know, the plot is fine, I guess. Again, it's just very slow.
So, how long do you want to keep those chainsaw noises?
Do you want me to turn them off? I made a promise.
Was the promise for the entire fucking episode?
I don't know. Not necessarily. Why is there more of them?
Yeah, so you could have just played 1 second of it and said, well, I fulfilled my promise.
I could have.
You could
But,
have just gone the way of, just, yeah.
But, yeah, no, yeah, it is a reference, but it's weird because Virgil, in the games, at least in this game, he has some really good lines. Like, they're pretty thought-provoking sometimes, even on, like, like, the nature of faith and shit, where he's like, if our positions were switched with I have your life and you mine, like, that's interesting, you know, that's interesting dialogue. I am the storm? It makes sense in the music. It doesn't make sense as a character.
I mean, I'm not the one to ask that because I'm not familiar with the franchise at all.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen the memes from Virgil.
The buried delight.
Uno.
Yes. Yeah, I have seen those because you showed me them, but if you...
Yeah, no, but that's why I'm not gonna comment on how well it is an adaptation, because I only know the 5th game, and I know the lore of the other games, but, like, I haven't played them, so I won't judge it as an adaptation. I'm judging it on its own. Although I will say, I don't know about the music choices. They were a bit odd. Anyway, other news. What do we got?
Well, I mean, I've traveled by... Only thing, I traveled by train on Sunday, right?
Yeah.
And I did win train seats at an auction. So I specifically wanted to travel in one of the trains that I bought, the same kind of train that I bought the seats from. For obvious reasons. Because what we did at that point was I brought a tape measure with me, and I legit just measured the seats
I see.
It's just you're in first class, right? And you're just measuring the seats, and it is big. It is like 180 by 120 by
I see.
80 centimeters. So it is a full couch technically, which makes sense because I'm planning on using it as one. I'm planning on actually if I move out, I'm planning on actually using train seats as a couch.
That's uh-oh. Uh uh uh-oh. Okay. Okay, you know what? I'm getting sick of this chainsaw, and apparently my computer is getting sick of a randomizer and a whole bunch of tabs being open at the same time. All right, we are switching back to our regular music. This is no, this is awful. There we go. Why are you gone? Where did Bush go? What happened? I think my Discord is crashing. Give me a sec. Now we are. All right. My Discord crashed. We're fine. It's back.
Yeah. Like I thought it was my Discord. So I
Nope.
restarted it. I restarted through Task Manager because that's what you usually do with those things. But yeah, apparently it wasn't. Usually it's my Discord. This time it wasn't. It surprised me.
Yeah. I say that as if that makes complete sense.
I also entirely forgot what we were talking about. So
I don't remember either. Something with the
I
news.
think I was talking about train seats.
Oh yeah, you were.
Because yeah, so the measuring of that. And also this morning, I woke up to a Discord message from a friend.
What
So
message?
music again is loud.
Is it?
Talk.
I didn't change the music at all.
Yeah, but it's.
Oh, I guess it's yeah. Here.
Yeah, it is loud.
That's
Because
better.
apparently, the overhead wires were damaged, specifically on the part where I needed to go. So that was quite annoying to have to deal with, because it meant my travel time doubled. At least my train time doubled. Probably quadrupled or tripled even. Because of the fact that I take an hour instead of like 20 minutes. So that is a significant problem to face.
Yes. You could say that.
But after being home 1.5 hours later than usual, because of that, like usually I'm home at 5, now I was at home at 6:30. So that was a slight, really annoying problem to deal with. But yeah, then I managed to also. Train was busy, and I missed the train by literally seconds. I ran towards the door, like fully just sprinting towards. Like I ran towards the door. They were just closing them, and I arrived at the door as they started closing. And once they start closing, you cannot do anything. Like you cannot undo the closing of the door. And there were two of them, so they just looked at me and I was like, come on.
Yup, that's me.
Then I had to wait 15 minutes and I was home 15 minutes. It's only 15 minutes, but it's about the principle.
Uh,
It's about the fact that it's really annoying when you have the problem of trains just barely not making your train and have to deal with those consequences.
Yep.
Yeah, it is a little bit annoying. It is just also like I had a transfer as well, and the second train on the way back was just full when it arrived. Like 1 full minute, like 60 seconds of just people getting out. I think half of the Netherlands was in that train. And I think half of your village might have been in that train.
Oh, that's nice.
With the sheer amount of people that were in there. Like, they just kept coming. Like, usually it's like as many people as you can see are getting out. But no, this was just
What do I even do?
a lot of people. And that lot of people, after getting out, then I had to all go upstairs and everything. And I mean, I got into the train, so that's good. That was good. I just got onto my train and just left while standing for 20 minutes.
Oh.
So it's just
Okay, well done.
what
You know what we need to talk about?
what
The situation with the international economics.
you mean the
Yeah.
tariffs exist?
Yes.
And then the fact
And
that
the
basically
weird
entire-
calculation for them.
Yeah, and the entire US economy going red.
Yeah.
Like, also, Jim,
But
the music is pretty loud again, and I think
why is it loud?
looking at the screen, yeah, I can clearly hear Coconut Mall.
Yes. But it's not that loud. Look at the bar on here. It's not that loud.
Yeah, but you also have to listen to your ears. That's an important thing as well. Listen.
I'm listening. It's not loud.
I can clearly hear it.
You can see on the bar. I always have it on around here. Like, it's fine.
Yeah, but what it does now it activates my character, so I'm continuously talking. Basically.
Really? Wait.
Well, my arm isn't going down.
Wait, huh? Or didn't we play around with that slider? Did you? Is that? Wait, no, that doesn't affect you right now.
Oh, that's my barrel.
Wait. Why is that then?
When you use it to keep moving, you have to get into position.
Are you sure that's what it is? Like, I have it nearly off right now, and you still...
If you just pause it, do I then stop? Pause the
If
music?
that's the case, then it's on you, because it's on you.
How? It's not really picking up that much, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not, like, Discord isn't letting sound through, and it's still lets sound through.
Wait, is your thing broken? Wait.
Could it be? Or it could have been the Discord crashed.
That
The Discord crash could
Oh,
have
you're right.
easily done it. Because programs crashing usually cause instability.
How would we fix that? Well, what if I I do properties, and I do this. Control C, and we do that, and then we save that.
You just
Actually,
remove
I
me.
would rather not do that.
You're gonna delete me now?
And yeah, sure. You know what? Let's do that. Yeah, I will.
Am I just worth deleting?
Yes. And then let's see.
Ouch.
It was a.
Am I worth deleting? Yes.
Was it a window capture or a browser capture? It was a browser, right?
It was browser because it's a link.
Push person
There should still be a website called The Past.
URL. Control V. Okay.
Would you be
There
opposed to
you are.
making a? Would you be opposed to having a website named
Like you're a giant right
The
now. Hold on.
Past, and then making a link to it so you can have a link to the past? Oh, now it's working. I'm working again. Yay!
Yeah.
I'm functional
I
again.
need to size you. And make sure that you don't need to be censored for not wearing pants.
Who needs pants anyway? I mean,
There you
I am the person that only has cargo pants.
go.
Like, apart from like a proper pair of pants for like formal things, you know, like weddings, funerals, all those things where you have to dress
There we go.
fancy.
Yes.
Then I have normal pants, but otherwise I'm wearing cargo pants. And if it's hot outside, it's cargo shorts.
Yeah. Anyway,
With pockets, with like normal pockets big enough that they're almost poking out from underneath.
but tariffs.
Yes.
It's probably a problem. And I saw
Well,
something
things are just gonna.
dumb about it today. Basically, an expert was like, okay, we have 4 options. We can ignore it. We can move the problem. Or we can ignore it, move the problem, act on it, as in, like, you know, also do tariffs. Or we can move it. And if you think I made the mistake there, then you are wrong. The expert made the mistake there. Yes, she did say moving twice.
Let me guess, Dutch expert.
Yes.
Is it sad that that just by saying Dutch expert, it just automatically means that it's bad? It shouldn't be, but it is. But also, just the entire U.S. economy, they're still talking about recessions, like a full-on economic recession, because of the fact that you have just people that are incapable or incompetent. And yeah, that just doesn't work out quite right. Also, what were they thinking with tariffs to begin with?
So I've seen I've seen someone argue that it's like he does this now, and then he also does something else, and he does something else, and like all at the same time. And that way, people can't really protest the one thing because something else has already happened.
Yeah, which is not good.
So that way,
Then,
like, it might be a strategy like that.
Because at that point you're kind of keeping keeping the people busy with one problem after the other, so you
Yes.
can just continue making problems,
Yes.
and it's gonna end up going wrong. Like I'm fully expecting the U.S. economy to kind of I don't want to say entirely collapse, but I'm gonna say close to it. It is not going to be easy to keep it afloat. That's probably going to be the fact. But trying to keep that afloat will... Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
I
I
know.
guess it's just... I mean, tariffs, for those who still don't know what it means, is basically saying, I'm going to make you pay more.
For no reason.
So it technically... No, you're technically going to be... I'm going to let my people pay more to import from specifically you. And the intent behind it was we're gonna have to produce more things domestically,
Yeah.
so in our own country. That was the goals. But yeah, you can make the end product at your like in your country, but some parts will still
Oh.
be imported, especially if we're talking about computer parts or chips or anything like that. There's a very great chance that it's coming from China.
Yeah.
So if you then have if you then create a problem where everything becomes like 50% more expensive, it's going to result in a lot of unhappy people who already barely could afford anything, which now they cannot afford anything at all, which means you're creating a larger homeless population. And I guess the US are solving that by deportation.
Yeah.
I mean, there is still a big problem going on. I know we're going back into politics immediately, but
Well, I mean,
they've
it is kind of important shit right now.
yeah, but they have actually deported somebody wrongly, somebody that was legal. They deported him to El Salvador, and now they don't want him to come back. Like they actively blocked moves to get him back into the U.S., which is how do I say this? Really concerning.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like not even slightly concerned. It is just really concerning with how they are kind of treating their own people. By the way, like
Yeah.
it's not just it is just their own people that they are treating badly at this point.
Yep, I know.
Which is why I'm saying that it's probably going to be just a matter of time before they collapse.
Ow.
Or they just collapse from economic instability and people just... Because that's what I also thought about with, for example, the LGBTQ community. They're basically being made illegal in the US. So that entire community is going to move out of the country. Or at least a bunch of them are like, well, I'm gonna have to get out of here. I'm going away. Then the economy goes bad. So a lot more people will be like, yeah, the economy is bad here, but in other countries it's better. I'm gonna start working to go to another country for better job opportunities, more income, better living conditions, health insurance, all those reasons. So you're probably going to end up with a country full of millionaires that can still afford life, and the rest just moves out. Which will then result in probably something that isn't going to end well. like I just have a slight feeling it's gonna be
Yeah.
one of those things where 4 years, and we should be thankful for that. That it's gonna end. That at least has a, well, hopefully has an end, because the carrot with a wig has been talking about multiple terms, like more terms, which totally isn't worrying at all. No,
But he
not at all.
can't though. Unless he gets like what, 80%? I don't know exactly how that works in America, but here in the Netherlands you need like 80% of the people to agree with you to actually change the, the, well, you don't call it a constitution here, but same thing pretty much, right?
Yeah, but it's. I feel like I mean, if you throw enough money at a problem, it solves itself. Like that is also the thing, right? The problem will eventually solve itself if we throw enough money. Which is the problem.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna end up with a very annoying set of problems that cannot be solved immediately. So yeah, if you're listening to this from the US, let's hope it gets better.
Yeah, just I don't know, hang in there and subscribe.
Just try vote with your brains next time.
You can't say that, Shu.
Well, there was legit a entire week in the search for Google on the search term tariffs. So
Oh,
when
I,
it
I
Trump
wonder why.
yeah, after he won the election. So instead of being like, they're talking about these things, let me look those things up first before I cast my vote.
No, but here's the thing.
Didn't do that. They
Tariffs,
just
like,
voted.
it can be fine. It's just that the way he calculated it is stupid and against literally every single economist and bank person and everything who,
Yeah, but
actually knows about this shit. Instead of listening to them, he did his own calculation that makes no sense at all.
not even that. It is also just the fact that the like a part of the population in the U.S. only looked up the entire thing of what are tariffs after he was elected president. So after Trump won the election, only then you saw the peak in the search term, which is concerning because if you're a rational person or you can think, you would listen to both sides. If you don't know what words mean, you look them up. There's an amazing search. There are multiple search engines that can look things up. That is what a search engine is. You can search the definition of things and then compare both sides, make your own decision, and then cast your vote. Instead of listening to who can scream the loudest and who can say the most things. And then saying, well, it sounds really convincing without really listening to it. Because then you end up with a rich billionaire doing certain salutes at your inauguration. If you didn't notice, it was a bit of a rant. Some could say it were some ramblings. This effect I cannot move, otherwise I would have said I will see myself out.
Yeah,
Because
you
it was a
probably
bad
would
joke.
have deserved it, yeah.
This would be a I'll see myself out moment.
So this is not a gameplay channel, but can we just talk about the bullshit on my screen real quick?
I mean, you're playing Devil May Cry.
I know I turn the randomizer on, but this is a little ridiculous.
You put a randomizer on, so you randomized everything, and then complaining that that's not random.
No, the fact that it's random is a bit of the problem right now. The army turned into these assholes. But yeah, no, I don't know how it's gonna affect the Netherlands, if at all. Actually, yeah, no, it's not an if, it definitely will. So yeah, we'll see, I guess.
It is just a matter of time before we have a decision.
Yep. Anyway, other than that, what else happened?
Let's look at the news, shall we?
Because I feel like everything this week has been about the tariffs.
I open a news app, and the first thing I see is things about tariffs on China.
Oh, nice.
Let's see. I did see another thing. Yeah. So if you want to go to the UK, right? To the United Kingdom, then you need to get something called an ETA.
Yeah.
And the thing is, right? You should be. It should only cost you £10. That is those are the costs that you have. But you actually you actually have to fill in valuable information. Like you have to take a picture of your passport, scan the chip that's in your passport, take a picture of yourself. It is really just official.
Yeah.
There are also third-party websites where you can do it. I don't know if you if you think properly, right? So you really start to think.
So you're asking me a lot right now.
Won't that affect the like just where your data goes? Because you also have to pay more money. Like somebody had to pay 437 euros instead of 12. So you're paying a lot more just for, well, not just for one piece of just to send a form in so they can say, ah, you're allowed in our country. Good, welcome. Have some tea. Have some shortbread. Have fun. Yeah. It is just.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, it is stupidly easy to make the mistake as well, because for some reason, and I blame Google for this, if you look something up, the first thing you'll see is sponsored.
Yeah, but the first thing you see isn't always correct.
Yes, that's the problem here. It is a third party sponsored thing that is on the top. You have to press the second link to get the official cheap one. Which means you are running into people actually, you know, getting the wrong thing. which costs people unnecessary amounts of money,
Mm-hmm.
and we don't like that.
Like, there's something weird happening right now. If you look up on Google, and of course, so okay, the pyramids are obviously a big thing right now because of like the whole, you know, we found shit underneath. I'll go dig then. Um, but one thing that's now a hot debate then is was it slaves that made the pyramids? Now, I was always taught at school that yes, it was. But if you look it up on Google right now, the top result is no, it's not. And that is something that a lot of people seem to be pushing. So, I looked at the experts, the people that actually, you know, studied Egypt and did all of the, the archaeology and all that. You know what they agree on? Neither. It was probably both. It was probably both slaves and people that were paid.
Well, because we have this massive structure here that needs to be built at a decent pace because it needs to be built within one person's lifetime.
I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure that didn't happen. I'm pretty sure it was too long for that.
Yeah, but you want to build it as quickly as possible to get within that lifetime thing. So you need a lot of people. And that's something I figured out as well, that people right now aren't as different as people were back then with the way we think and the way we do.
No.
So let's say you have a massive building project and the population that you have, or like the people that you have within your company, is not enough. Then you hire people from outside. That makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yes.
Unless it's just, oh yeah, we have this, we have all these slaves that they're building, but it's not going quick enough. We want to build it quicker. Let's get more people. Let's hire some people that are skilled. And of course, you do need people that are actually skilled in certain things. Like the stones need to be cut. You need to
Yeah.
have, if you want to do some carvings, you're gonna have to get somebody that's specialized in carvings. You know, it's the usual thing that you have with a massive project like a pyramid,
Yeah.
like a big triangle.
Yeah.
So it makes a lot of sense. It's just that people think, oh well, no, aliens build it because they didn't have the tools for it yet, even though they did have the tools for it, and a lot of manual labor.
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, it was probably both, and then also people that the government was like, hey, you are building a pyramid, and if you don't want to, then fuck you, you're doing it anyway.
So you wanna build a pyramid? No? Too bad.
And if you're not going, then your dad goes. Because that was how Egypt worked at the time.
So like one of you is going, or both. Don't care.
I mean, as like a trade, then you didn't have to pay taxes, but,
That is a fair trade, I'd say.
I guess. But anyway, I just thought it was interesting.
Because you're basically trading in you're basically working for the government, so then they'll be like, yeah, well, we're just not gonna we're just gonna exempt you from tax. It makes a lot of sense, in my opinion. Of course, I could be entirely wrong because I guess. But people like to avoid taxes anyway, wherever they can. I mean, if you have to pay less tax, would you do it? Because I would certainly pay less tax if I
Yes.
had the opportunity to.
I mean, that
But some
question is harder than you would think, to be fair, because taxes are also important.
they are important. They well, depends on what they do with it. If they build a useless statue, then like if they make like I saw a post about this on Reddit today, where in the U.S. some time they made like a big like a picture of just a bunch of law enforcement walking away from explosions. Like it does look really cool. There's one slight problem. It's a waste of taxpayer money. Because guess who has to pay for it? The taxpayer. Guess who's never gonna see that money ever again? The taxpayer. So you're basically just stealing taxpayer money to build your own, to just build your own stuff. It's
You don't need to pay taxes, you.
well, do you want sewage? Because if you want sewage, you should pay your taxes, especially in the Netherlands.
No, here you just pay for overpriced fake papers so that you believe that you are not part of the Netherlands anymore.
I guess. I mean, it is just to me kind of weird how how it's just, yeah. Some taxpayer money goes to the wrong things. But again, everybody has a different opinion on that, which is why voting is important.
Mm-hmm.
So you can actually say what you want within the government without losing out on.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of the thing with the government right now. Like, yes, they are completely incompetent, but in terms of who is actually in power, it is pretty much what you would expect from the Dutch situation right now.
Just an entire mess.
No, I mean in terms of the parties.
Yeah.
Like, they are the parties that you would expect. Can you fuck off? I want my concentration. Yeah, I don't know. Do we need to get into Dutch politics? I don't think so.
No, we don't.
Unless, was it last week? Or did we not talk about this yet? About... Because we talked about it with, our friends. But did we talk about it on the podcast yet about the minister that was like um the
Which minister?
Minister of Migration, but work migration was not part of her thing.
Yeah, that is.
Did we talk about
We
that
should
on
talk
here? I don't think so.
at least it is. Even if you heard it, like Minister of Migration just
Yeah.
saying
So yeah, but
that, like instead
yeah,
of that saying that you're basically saying I'm the Minister of Migration, but migration is not within my department.
yes. And you're like, great,
Saying,
thanks.
It's just saying my job isn't within my job's description.
Yeah. Oh wait, I didn't change the seed.
I'm
Oh.
supposed to sit behind a cash register, but sitting by the cash register is not within. It's not what I do. Which saying that out loud is really weird.
Kinda is, yeah.
Because what that indicates to me is sort of a very weird and annoying thing where it's just. I mean, if it's politicians are just very good, especially these ones. Like a good politician can answer questions, but any politician, what they will do is they will throw a lot of words around, avoid answering your question, and then go on a rant about what they want to do, aka what Trump's doing. You ask him a question, he goes off about this entire thing, and doesn't really care about anything else, I guess. So yeah. I'm slightly worried of where the world is going, but I guess we'll just have to wait and find out how screwed we will actually be.
Mm-hmm. Well, we will see. We will see when the time is there, I guess.
I guess when the time is there, but I mean, like everything is getting more expensive, but I mean, we're also at the point where we might start working. So that would mean that we actually earn money, so then we can really see how fucked we are.
I mean, you were gonna take 3 months off, like.
2 months. They, well, that could still change. I could shorten it, but it is entirely dependent on the situation with moving and the divorce as well. Because if it means that money is quickly required, then I might be forced to actually start working.
Aww.
That
He
I
might
basically
need
have
to
to become the
work.
no, but like that I have to become the provider for the house because yeah.
Provide. You just call KPN.
You know what I mean? Like that I just have to accept that I'm just gonna be providing the money.
Yeah.
Although I do want to save up money so I can live on my own, which is which would also be a good reason to take a couple months off so I can actually find a good company with the multiple leads that I have, and then try and find housing near that. Because if there's one annoying thing is having to travel for a long time, especially with public transport, because if that then fails, your travel time will become even longer, as I experienced today. Still slightly annoyed by that, but I cannot change anything about it, so if I could change something about it, I would just be more than happy to do it, but apparently that's not within the books. I guess it's just it
Mm-hmm.
is just. I
Yeah.
mean, train travel within the Netherlands is still good. There are still multiple ways to get somewhere. but it does become a lot more annoying when you have to actually. Well, it's a fact that I know the routes around, but a lot of people don't, I guess, and they will be absolutely stuck. They did put in replacement buses, but I don't trust those, even though last couple of times I have used them, they were kind of on time. They arrived on time. That's basically all that matters, but they are a lot less comfortable. Like I'd much rather have
well,
something a little bit more comfortable.
sometimes that's just how it is.
These trains are surprisingly comfortable. I can easily fall asleep in a train, honestly, if I'm really tired.
Well, if I'm tired, then yeah, sure.
Like that's why I still at some point, if I have the money, and I have the land, I will legit buy a train and live in it. Because let's say you take a train that's like 4 parts long, a couple 100 meters. I think that would be a couple 100 meters in total. You fit it on, you slap it on some land, you put plumbing to it, like water and electricity. I'm not gonna bother with gas because you don't need it anyway. There are alternatives for things like a gas stove can become like an induction thing.
Yeah.
So that those problems are easily solvable. It is just that, yeah, buying a train probably costs like 100,000, probably more, depending on the type of train you're buying.
I don't know.
So it is just a matter of earning a lot of money. And then using said money for cars, no, for car stuff as well, but also just train stuff. I mean, I already bought the train seats, so I guess. I still don't have a date to pick those up. I kind of want to know. I kind of want to know when I can, because when I can, me and a friend will pick them up. We'll pick it up at a. They just rent a trailer, go out. It is kind of a cross-country road trip, which is kind of, I'm not sure how long it will take us, but probably around 5 hours to actually do it. To go to the place, pick up the seats, go back home, or somewhere else where I have to store it temporarily. And then I can, when I move out, I can enjoy the fun of the fun of having a couch that is significantly cheaper than a normal couch. Because I don't know if you know couch prices, Jim.
No, I don't. Why
They're
would I know
easily
proud couch prices? What?
they're easily 400 to 500. If you want a little bit of a big or fancier one. If you want a cheap one, then you're like 1 to 200. And I'm gonna pay a total of like 250 for a solid three-seater couch. So that is just, I'm not gonna complain. And also, although looks might be a bit weird, it is 3 red seats in a row, and each has their own armrest that you can fold up, so you can lay horizontal on. And then you can sit up and have 2 armrests and sit comfortably while eating some food. Just have to think of, yeah, again, logistics and everything. Having to pick it up in the middle of nowhere. But that's the thing. Why can those auctions never be close by? They also have to be in the middle of nowhere. I've also started to notice that a little bit more within within basically where I live versus the rest of the country. I'm noticing more and more that I basically live in the middle of nowhere. And it's weird.
I mean, we also live in the Netherlands.
Yeah, but the Netherlands is kind of still a central / decently known country. I mean, if you say Amsterdam, a lot of people will be like, oh yeah, that place.
Yeah. The place where
The
you can get
one
wheat. Actually, wasn't there something with the wheat now? Weren't they like experimenting with something? I forget what it was.
having one that has all legal stuff, I think.
It
What it
might
was?
might be. Yeah, I don't remember.
Or they want to experiment with just having coffee shops, because a coffee shop in the Netherlands is the place where they sell the weed instead of having a specific thing for that, which means as a tourist, unless you're specifically looking for it, do not go into coffee shops, go into a cafe. That's where they have your coffee. They might still have your coffee at a coffee shop, but you will be surprised. You might be taken by surprise by by a certain smell. A smell that tends to be really annoying when you're trying to walk. And yes, sadly, when you sometimes walk, you walk through an entire cloud of it. Then you smell it for the next 10 seconds. And this is just... I also
Yeah.
just have something against smoking. And it's just... Like I did recently when I was watching the Minecraft movie. Like somebody... Like we were eating food. And then one of the people working there decided to go and smoke. Right outside the door. Which means that everybody inside can now enjoy your smoking as well. Because the smoke just blows back inside. Isn't that lovely? So yeah, that is just... Let's see, do we have more news actually that is semi-interesting? Apart from the fact that people are being scammed, tour operators are gonna get fined for scalping Colosseum tickets, which is good because what, like, those tour guides just they buy a lot of tickets, they sell them through their own thing at a marked up price to tourists that just want to see big round broken building. Let's see. South Korea is getting early presidential elections.
Why?
Wasn't there a thing with their president
I don't know. I don't.
basically staging a coup and then that failing?
I don't follow Korea
And
with the exception of like Lies of
North
P,
Korea.
Ender Lilies, and Stellar
What's with
Blade.
North Korea?
No, that's South Korea.
If you're not following North Korea, why not? I mean, it's still understandable that you don't because they just suck.
I mean, they are sometimes in the news. Mainly one person there.
The one person that is allowed to be on the news, I guess.
Yeah, maybe. No,
This is just
they also
basically
have their own news. I'm sure they have journalists that are fully allowed to do their jobs.
Yet what if they want to say something bad? What happens then?
Define bad.
What if they want to say something negative? Will they still be able to, exist? Or will they not be able to exist?
Um. Well.
That is a good question, isn't it?
A couple of
If you say
years
something
ago
negative.
at like the Olympic Games, there was it was there were like tensions between America and Korea and North Korea at the time,
Yeah.
and you could just during the ice skating, like the dancing ice skating stuff.
Yeah.
Uh, the American team did their thing, and then everyone clapped except for the North Korean people. But in there was like one girl who did clap. I I hope she's fine.
But say, was she ever heard from again?
I don't know. I don't follow ice skating, but I
Because I
I
wouldn't be
hope so
surprised
because it was kind of adorable.
I wouldn't be surprised if she suddenly wasn't available anymore. Then again, there's a lot of propaganda against the United States in North Korea,
Yeah, probably.
specifically saying that they're bad and everything. All while letting their own population starve. Like you're letting your own population starve. In the meantime, United States bad. And these days, in some aspects, they definitely are. Just reference to earlier in this episode
Yeah.
to hear about that. Saves time and blood pressure with ranting. Please refer to my previous rant. Yeah. I don't think I have anything more. Oh wait, I now realize something that's gonna be really fun to do soon. So I, like, right before we started recording this, I always, like every evening I clean my rabbit's toilet because it prevents insects from laying eggs and everything.
Yeah.
It prevents a lot of trouble, basically. But we also have a little bit of like mouse wire on the cage because otherwise mice get in there and eat his food and use the hay, especially during winter, to keep warm, which we don't want to. We don't want we don't want that to happen. So we kind of we kind of put like mouse wire around it, but it has sharp edges. And I went against it with my arm, and first there were 2 white stripes, then they became red.
Right.
But the thing is, my arm has hair on it. There's a bandage on it, so I'm gonna have to rip that one off. Including the hair. When I plan to hold on, I have a solution. I'm planning to take a shower anyway. That is the solution, just water. Just apply water to bandage and it will eventually fall off. That's how bandages work. Unless you have the good ones. Like Boots has really good bandages, but if you don't have the proper ones, there's a really high chance that just one time taking a shower, washing your hands will really just mess everything up. And we don't want everything to be messed up.
What? Anyway, but I think we might be running out of stuff.
We basically have our same topics every week. It is
Yeah,
just
but
what is happening in the United States.
well, currently a lot is happening in the United States, so mainly surrounding one person.
Yeah, mainly surrounding one person and or 2 actually.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
You're forgetting the useless Elden Ring player. He did a stream recently where he actively got bullied.
Wait, did he?
After half an hour. Yeah, Elon Musk did a live stream, and people just kept bullying him in chat.
What?
And he
What?
rage quit after half an hour.
Wait, what? What did he play?
I think he played I think he played Elden Ring actually.
Oh.
But of course he's not good at it. Which kind of indicates that we didn't have a really good, like a, for him, good build that totally wasn't good.
So the thing with his build is that it actually had a lot of good elements. It's just that they didn't match.
Basically just picking, oh, this one looks cool, this one looked cool, this one also looked cool.
Yeah, well, but yeah, pretty much.
Which doesn't add up.
Uh, no.
It just doesn't work that way. You have to
No.
pick things that complement each other so you get more power.
Yeah.
Otherwise you end up with very little power and a lot of different... Well, you're gonna end up with a lot of different types of power. Different types of power that you basically cannot use because, well, they aren't strong enough to deal proper damage. Yeah, you cannot... Elon Musk, it is just... Like, one thing that I saw today. Tesla won't even take back their own cars anymore. They won't trade them in because of, well, especially if it's a Cybertruck, because they just cannot seem to get rid of them.
Yeah, she.
Like you can, if you have a Cybertruck, my condolences. You are not getting rid of it at all. That is just not within the budget anymore. And also the fact that they might buy, if they buy it back, they have to get like a car dealer generally buys a car and then they have to sell it again. But if you can buy the car at a crazy expensive price and then be unable to sell the thing again, that results in a massive problem. With the problem mainly being the dealership is losing a lot of money on, you know, having cars sit on the lot that do nothing because they cannot seem to get rid of them. If you cannot get rid of your fleet of cars, then you go bankrupt as a car dealer. And that is dangerous. Although the state of the US economy is also not good already, secondhand cars are still expensive. So for a very car dependent, like a very car dependent country, they're kind of making it hard to own a car. Which for some people is where they live. I'm not kidding. People in the US tend to like sometimes live in their car because they have no other place to go.
Yeah.
They can do this because, well, they have the laws of like thereof to do that. So not only have people living in their cars, which they might not be able to afford anymore, but yeah, you also end up with the you end up with homeless population. It all comes, like everything circles back to the economy dying.
Mm-hmm.
And in Europe, it's still going up a little bit. Like it's slowly recovered. Like here in the Netherlands, here in Europe, it is recovering. Like that's good. But the US is kind of how do I put this lightly? Fucked. Like they are kind of a great difficulty getting out of this. A real great difficulty getting out of this one. Or, you know, what could also happen is, because Trump is an old man, I think he's like 79.
I don't know.
He's old.
I do know that.
So there is a chance that he will kind of give out. Although that is quite unlikely to happen.
I don't know. Maybe.
It could. I think he either is or is very close to the oldest US president in existence.
Isn't Biden still alive?
Yeah, but the old president, like the old president in office,
Oh.
like actively being the president. Like Biden is currently not being the president anymore. Kind of put that to the side after the elections, which I still feel like weren't entirely fair. Considering Trump literally thanked Elon Musk for knowing those voting machines really well. I wouldn't be surprised if that is a if there's something going on there, but I guess there's no way to prove that, and yeah. That's also a thing. There's things that are very difficult to prove, and in the meantime, they're just doing whatever they want because they have the power to do whatever they want.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what I think. You're kind of being like my dad, now that I realize it. If you just either ignore the problem or... like, either you ignore the problem fully and hope that it goes away, or you just don't bother, then it will all end well and everything will be good. Just basically stick your head in the sand and see if it works out. That tactic. That we all know doesn't work because problems don't go away by ignoring them. They
Mm-hmm.
get worse by ignoring them, so you have to face your problems.
Is your father secretly American?
No, but it wouldn't surprise me.
So then, if you say that, then it could be a yes.
And no, because he was born in the Netherlands, so...
Okay, but what about his ancient ancestors, though?
Why would I know anything about that?
I don't know. Anyway,
Why would I want to know anything about that?
we should wrap it up before you start ranting about your dad.
Nah. Not right now, because there's actually some progress.
Right. Anyway, but I think we should still wrap it up.
But it is getting slightly better at this point. Slightly better.
Well, that's good. But we should probably still wrap it up because I think we're out of topics.
Yeah, I think we are. So
yeah. We will see you.
Yeah, don't forget to do things like your mother. No.
No.
Like, either following this channel, following BushBlade, following Obsidian Blade 266, watching more videos. You know, just whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Also, if you have feedback for us, make sure to let us know, because we are open to feedback. And want to know if we can improve stuff, if maybe you have some ideas for us, maybe something for the background, or something for, you know, maybe some ideas for guests come up. Well, whatever, just... Also, don't forget to join the Discord. Links are everywhere. Main in the description. Yeah, that is basically the entire rant of an end of a YouTube video. Or,
yes.
Or a podcast or a VOD. Just the subscribe, comment, like all the channels and what more stuff, because algorithm likes it, and yeah. So I guess we'll see everybody next week with the next meeting. With probably more politics, and probably more politics.
Yeah, so join us next time to hear us talk about how the US economy fell. Wait, what? Bye.